it's Amy. Hi, it's Amy. Are you understanding that your money isn't being spent as wisely as it could be? And do you find yourself overdrafting or feeling stressed out, unable to live comfortably? Do you understand that this is probably more to do with how you spend your money and less about how much you're making because you make a pretty decent amount of money? I get it. You're not the only one, and I've been there. So here are a few money saving tips that I want to share with you to hack your life so that you can live more comfortably and with more peace. My first tip is a very important thing that I learned through my education with the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and that is the 50-30-20 split. Let me explain what that means. So 50-30-20, of course, that ends up to, if you add those numbers together, it ends up to 100, right? So the idea is to have 50% of your wages go to bills, 30% go to leisure, and 20% to go to your savings and investments. Now, I know to a lot of people, myself included, when I first learned this, it sounded really unreasonable, especially if you're already living on a really tight budget. But this gives you something to strive for, something to move closer to, so that you can live more with comfort and not have the stress or the overwhelm that comes with reaching maybe the mid part or the end of the month and not being able to afford the things that you need. My second tip is to immediately reallocate your funds when the pay comes in. So if you get a direct deposit or a check or whatever it is, when you deposit that check, immediately start moving your money where it needs to go. I made the mistake of not having multiple bank accounts when I became the head of household in my family. And I found us struggling, like especially towards like the mid to late end of the month, because we spent money before we got it. And what really helps me and what I'd like to pass on to you is to have multiple bank accounts. Not out of like just on a whim, just because, but to really be intentional about you spend your money, to really be intentional about how you spend your money. So for example, for us, I found out, okay, we keep overdrafting, we're spending money before we actually get it. And it's not that we don't have enough, it's just that we're spending it too soon. It's going too fast, and it's because we don't have buckets to put that money, essentially. So what I created was a different system. And this gets into my work with systems and rituals and how they can really help you live a more fulfilling life so that you can do the things you want to do and less of the things you have to do. But that's a whole video in and of itself. So for this purpose, I created a bank account that's just for our bills, a bank account for our leisure money, for when the family wants to go somewhere together, go on trips, go on a dinner date, whatever it is, we have that money. And then the rest of it I try to put away or set aside so that we can maybe spend it on vacation or something like that. Or if there's an emergency or things like that. These are things that you also want to plan for, because you don't want to wait until those times happen to be like, oh my gosh, we don't have this allocated. Or if there's an emergency, somebody gets hurt, maybe there's an injury, maybe there's a hospital visit. You don't want to wait until these things happen to actually plan for them. My third and final tip is to track your expenses. And I know just that me saying that can make some of us cringe, but honestly, even if it is taking 5 minutes in the evenings and just writing down either receipts for the day and just logging those, you can really start to understand, okay, this is where we're spending a lot of our money. Maybe these are things that we can pull back from. Because when it's kind of like going through the woods looking for, what is it, when you're caching, right? You know that there is a destination you're trying to reach. But if you're not even aware of what you're trying to reach, you'll of course hit that target every time. So when you have a destination in mind and you understand maybe you want to reach, maybe you're not at a point in your life where you can do the 50-30-20, but maybe you can do 50-40-10. Maybe you can do something that is closer to and more reasonable for you. Whatever that is, that gives you direction, so that everything that you do and every step that you take towards that is something that's measurable. Because what a lot of us are doing, like I said, myself included, was we were just, okay, we're paying the bills and we need this and we need that. And by the time we meet like the third week of the month, we don't have any money. We have to pull from our savings and things like that. And of course, ideally, we want to reach into our savings only when we have to. So to be intentional about how we spend our money is really important, and to be aware of where our money's going is really important. And you can do that by tracking your expenses. And like I said, you don't have to be a spreadsheet guru or a super nerd like me that really loves spreadsheets to track it. You can do something as simple and as practical as just writing it down on a piece of paper and just logging that throughout the week. And honestly, it really helps you project your expenses the following year, because you can look back at your previous year and what quarter it was in and be able to figure out how much money you will need. And that really has been really a godsend in what I've had to do in my family in the past. So I hope these tips were helpful. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for making time for yourself today. May you continue to grow. Did you struggle to stay healthy during the holidays with all the temptation everywhere? I understand the cycle of wanting to do better, but not actually feeling better. The guilt and shame that can come with this can be horrible, not to mention the side effects of weight gain, tiredness, bloating and swelling, and even digestive issues. These can wreak havoc on our mental well-being, which is the driver for our health. You don't have to keep wishing for better health in the weeks, months, or even years to come. By following Fit Food Fix, you'll learn how to make yummy meals that fit your life and fit your goals. Click the link in the description to learn more.